Hello guys, we got a 9-game NBA slate for this Friday, February 21st. So starting off with point guard Luka Doncic, going to be the most expensive option, 10.6K against the Magic. It is a pretty tough spot for these Mavericks overall. The Magic are still a very good defense without Jonathan Isaac, and they are just the team that we don't really like to target against because of how slow they play and also how solid they are defensively. But Luka, we're getting a discount here. It does seem like he is going to play his full minutes. Last time he still got to 31, even though it was a blowout. And the Kings, yes, they're a faster paced team than the Magic, but if you look at the price, Doncic is definitely not a 10.6K player, but you're getting a discount here because it is being factored into the pace, the matchup. So I think Luka's still fine here. Probably not going to be too popular because the slate's pretty chalky right now with the other guards, like Damian Lillard being out. You're probably going to be playing CJ McCollum. That's going to be a lock, and maybe Anthony Simons. So it makes sense to play those guys, just cheaper options. So Doncic, if there's more value that opens up, you can definitely take a shot with Luka. Probably going to be a guy who will have some shares in tournaments. Next, LeBron James, 10.5K. You can play him at small forward. This is a better matchup compared to Luka, but again, Doncic is just a better fantasy player. LeBron definitely has a very good ceiling as well. The Grizzlies are on a back-to-back here. They played a very close one in Sacramento on Thursday night. So maybe there's some blowout risk here with the Lakers having just their All-Star break. They're rested, and the Lakers are going to be healthy here. So it does seem like it could be a blowout risk, but again, LeBron, we know the upside that he has. I definitely would go with Luka over LeBron though. And then next is Dennis Schroder. He is pretty cheap today, 5,600 against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a solid defensive team, but the Thunder should be able to keep this game close because they're playing at home and they do play pretty well there. Schroder just hasn't really been that great in terms of the fantasy points recently. He's still going to be a guy that is like shoot first guard. Yes, he handles the ball, but we know he just takes a whole lot of shots, and he hasn't been getting like a whole lot of peripherals with the rebounds and assists recently. So I think that those things, if they go more towards their average or to his average, he's still gonna play around over 30 minutes. So you know what we're gonna get, and the price is down now, 5,600. You're getting a really good price tag here, so worth the tournament shot there. And then other guys, Anthony Simons, as I mentioned, he's only 3,500. DraftKings didn't price any of these guys up enough, or they just didn't at all. He's getting a terrific matchup with these Pelicans, and even if it was a tough matchup, you still are going to want this guy. You probably just play him in cash. It is a very late game, 7:30, so there's a possibility that we don't know what the Blazers lineup is going to look like, but I think that we can just assume for now that it's going to be Simons at the point guard position with CJ McCollum shooting guard, but there is a chance that maybe they start CJ at point and they just put in Gary Trent or some other option, but it does seem like Simons should be able to get the start here. If even he doesn't start, I think you should pivot a little bit off of him just because the minutes aren't going to be as high, but still know that he's going to see a pretty big boost just in terms of the obviously the minutes and then the role, because it's probably going to be CJ McCollum staggered with Carmelo Anthony today, and that way there's going to be more shots, there's going to be more ball handling responsibilities when you take out a high usage player like Dame Lillard. Other guys, the Knicks, Alfred Payton is questionable, so Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina, as much as we don't really want to play them, they are definitely going to be options then because one of them's going to start and they probably split the minutes, and they're just really cheap, 33, 31, 100 respectively, and it is a tough matchup against the Pacers, but usually they're still going to get blowout run, doesn't really matter. The Knicks, they don't really have anything to play for, and they're just really cheap, so they make sense as value options if Alfred is out. Onto shooting guard, pretty much everyone like expensive here is going to be lower on than they should be just because of CJ and Simons. Bradley Beal 9,400 is expensive, but Bradley Beal gets a terrific matchup. These Wizards, or I mean the Cavs, rather, they're just not a good defensive team. Bradley Beal, his minutes are still there. It seemed like it was concerning in like the midway through January, but his minutes are back up now. We know the Wizards just go where Bradley Beal goes, and he's gonna be the main guy. He's not getting a lot of peripherals recently, but we know he can definitely get those, and 9,400 in just a really solid matchup. We just know he's going to take 20 plus shots, going to take a lot of threes as well, heavy minutes usually, so it definitely makes sense to take some shots on Bradley Beal with amazing upside here, and there's really no like blowout concern here because we know the Wizards, they're not blowing anybody out unless Bradley Beal is going to have a good game, and the Cavs are definitely not a team that we should be scared of, so I think Bradley Beal makes sense for tournaments. Other guys, Devin Booker, 7,900. DeAndre Ayton is currently questionable. There's a lot of guys that could be returning, like Aaron Baines, Dario Saric. So they do have just other guys that can come in and take some shots, but DeAndre Ayton is questionable. That's going to be a big part of the Suns' offense that is or could potentially be missing. It is a tough matchup against the Raptors. The Raptors are very solid defensively, and they are at home. But Booker, we know the upside that he has. 7,900 does seem a little cheap. He's probably priced here because of the defense, but obviously if the Suns can keep this game close, it's probably going to be because of Booker. And also you can take a look at Kelly Oubre, but Booker's just upside is enormous. We know he can just go out there, score like 40 real life points, and 7,900, that's just a little bit cheap here. Probably not going to be too high on either because of, again, the options on the slate, and it is a tough defense. And the Raptors, that's just not a team that people want to target. Drew Holiday, 7,300. He's not going to be a core play at all because Brandon Ingram is going to be returning for this game, and the Pelicans are finally healthy. But he is only 7,300 in a very solid matchup. The Blazers are definitely not a good defensive team, and Drew's just a very good, solid all-around player that does a little bit of everything. So he's a pretty good option for cash. Definitely has tournament upside as well. Donovan Mitchell, 6,900. I like him more than Drew because Mike Conley's currently, he's gonna be out for this game due to rest around the first end of the back-to-back. Without Conley rather, Mitchell definitely gets more ball handling responsibilities. Also, Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson gets more shots, more playing time. But Mitchell, he's 6,900, and he's priced for Conley to play. When Conley's in, Mitchell's ball handling just is cut like a lot, and his assists just kind of go away. But now you're getting Conley out with Ingles being the main ball handler and also Mitchell. They also stagger their minutes. So that means that Mitchell just becomes a lot better of an option for us, for fantasy players. And we know Mitchell's the go-to guy for the Jazz, and he's going to play heavy minutes as a starter here. The Spurs, their defense is not that great, and they're not like a super slow, methodical team. So the Jazz, this is definitely not like a bad matchup for Mitchell, and just given the situation, he's underpriced, 6,900. I like him. And then CJ McCollum, gonna be the top play, I think, overall on the slate. 6,600, the matchup without Lillard. We know the usage increase, everything. He's just not priced right. He should be way more expensive than he is, and it's one of the best matchups for any team. And also, you take out Lillard, just everything is going for CJ McCollum's way. I think I'm probably gonna have 100% of this guy like everywhere in like all the websites even. Next is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6,400. It's a tough matchup again, just like Chris Paul, Schroder, all these other Thunder guards, but they are playing at home where they do play better, and they all seem a little bit cheap, especially SGA and Schroder. So even though that the Nuggets have a good defense, like they're getting Plumlee back, they're getting some guys healthy. Will Barton could potentially be back as well. Gary Harris is their best defender. Torrey Craig's gonna get minutes, but Craig, he's relegated to a bench role then if Barton is going to be back, and also Michael Porter's healthy now, so Craig, his defense could be lost just because they want to play better offensive guys. Gary Harris is the best option. They probably throw him on they probably put him on SGA maybe, and maybe Murray guards CP3, but not sure on that. But either way, SGA, he's too cheap, and we know the upside that he has, like 6,400. The Nuggets, they don't play that fast, but SGA is a young guy for the Thunder. They are currently they have a good shot at making the playoffs, but we know Thunder, they're definitely looking forward to the future, and SGA is just a part of their big plans, and he's going to play heavy minutes. They want him to develop, and he's already just like a rising star, most improved player candidate. Definitely has an upside at only 6,400. Jaylen Brown, 5,900 with Marcus Smart. I prefer Brown over Smart with Kemba Walker out. Jaylen Brown, he's too cheap here, 5,900 against the Wolves. The Wolves are not a good defensive team. They're also without Cat, which actually probably helps them defensively, but Just the pace they play at. They're trying to run faster now with D'Lo after getting him, Malik Beasley. These guys definitely want to play fast, and it helps the Celtics because they're not really a fast-paced team. And Jaylen Brown, he's just gonna be asked to take more shots here. He is probably healthy now. After the break, he did say that he didn't feel that well, but you look at the news, he is going to be back here full practice, so he should be able to take double-digit shots, and he's a good defender and he can definitely chip in a little bit in every category. So I like him. He's too cheap, gonna play heavy minutes. And then on to small forward now. Brandon Ingram is 6,800. He's too cheap. Unless it's a minutes restriction, I'm gonna want a good bit of Brandon Ingram in this matchup. He's probably gonna get small forward. Trying to think. It's Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza, not a bad defender at all. Kind of like a 3-and-D player now at this stage in his career. But Brandon Ingram, he's just so good. He's improved. He's an all-star this year. And if he's not limited, he's definitely too cheap here for this matchup. And just an option that you're going to really want. Definitely makes sense to run back with your Blazers ownership as well. DeMar DeRozan, also 1,600. His minutes, he's also coming back from injury actually, but it didn't seem like it was that serious. He says that he's perfect in the news, so definitely not anything to worry about. LaMarcus Aldridge does have a tough matchup against Rudy Gobert, so it could be more of a matchup that they lean on DeRozan more than Aldridge. So he's had good success like in the past in this matchup. He's a guy that is getting a lot more ball handling responsibilities as well. So he's just someone that can do it all, and he's 6,100 because of the injury, and he's just too cheap for this matchup, even though it is tough. Next, Kelly Oubre, 6,700. Tough matchup, but again, with Aiden possibly being out, that's definitely something that could help Oubre and all these Suns players. And Oubre is a guy that definitely does have like 50-point upside, and they're going to need him to help like the Booker, Ricky Rubio, if Aiden is out, to keep this game close in Toronto. And then Joe Ingles going to be one of my favorite plays on the slate, 4,700. He just takes on such a bigger role when Mike Conley is out. He definitely is going to play over 3 minutes. And if you look at his past game log, he's been shooting so poorly, but he's still getting you 5x. He's 4,700, too cheap. Spurs are not a good defense at all. If he just makes like a few more shots, you're looking at a guy that's going to get you 6x. And if he just has a very good shooting game, he's getting like more rebounds than like the 3, the 2. Those assists are definitely something that can continue because he is handling without Conley, and he's also a very good defender. So you could definitely see Ingles putting up like 40. That's definitely something that he's done before, and just at this price tag, you're getting 8, 9x. So I really like Joe Ingles. Not sure about the ownership, but he's just a guy that I always like to play when he's like when he's like 5 or under 5K when Conley is out. And then cheaper options, Sandy Osman, 3,900 against the Wizards. Just a good matchup, and he's really cheap. So if you really need to go down there, his minutes seem to still be all over the place. He is inconsistent. It definitely sucks now that they have Drummond. They can just do Love Drummond at power forward center. They have Larry Nance, Tristan Thompson. So it is tough for Osman to be able to slide down to the 4 and get more rebounding opportunities. So that definitely hurts his value that way. But in a fast-paced environment, fast-paced game here, if he's able to play well, like get some shots up, he should be able to play 30 minutes if he's playing well. Maybe it's a close game, and Osman can definitely get there. Power forward, Anthony Davis at the top, 9,900. You're going to be able to pay up for someone just because of the value here. I think AD definitely is an option. I think I prefer AD over LeBron just because the savings. They're two guys that definitely, you either choose one or the other because they're teammates. And the Grizzlies, they're going to be on a back-to-back. They're going to be probably tired. They are young, but the Lakers, they're just a very, very good team. And he's 9,980. We know the upside that he has. He's 70-point upside every night, regardless of the matchup. And this is a pretty good matchup in terms of just defense, pace, everything. Next is going to be Jason Tatum, one of my favorite plays as well here. 7,800, just too cheap. Without Kemba Walker, Tatum gets a very solid boost to his usage rate. And it's a very good matchup against the Wolves. Probably Hernan Gomez starts. I can definitely see the Wolves putting James Johnson on Tatum just because he's a more versatile defender, and then they put Juancho on Tice, and I just still wouldn't mind that. Like, if that happens, okay, but if you get Juancho defense, he's not he's not a good defender at all. And Juancho, he's going to be too slow. He can't guard Tatum. Tatum's just turning into a very phenomenal player. You take out Kemba, you put in like just the pace, the match, everything. It's definitely a very solid matchup for Jason Tatum without Kemba. So 7,800 going to be pretty popular here, but you just play him. It's just way too good of a spot. And then Carmelo Anthony without Dame Lillard, 5,300. It's a very solid matchup against the Pelicans. Zion is going to be a tough cover for Melo, but I mean, without Dame Lillard, like Melo, he's just gonna get a lot more shots here. Like he was 1 for 15 last game, and obviously that's not gonna happen again. He was making up for it with the rebounds, but he's gonna shoot better. So definitely, I think 5,300 is a little bit cheap here. Defensively, he definitely is going to get worked by Zion, but at home, more shots. They're gonna need his offense. I like Melo here. And then other power forwards that I'm interested in, you can take a look at Juancho, 4,700, just because Cat is going to be out, so there's going to be more shots to go around. He did play some pretty heavy minutes. He actually got all those at the 4. So it is going to be a timeshare for James Johnson and Naz Reid at the center position, but Juancho getting 38 minutes, if he's able to get that, which I'm not so sure because Tatum is a tough matchup at the 4 for him, but he's just a guy that can put up shots. He's not afraid to shoot, as you can see. He's a very good three-point shooter. He's been a solid rebounder as well, like when he was on the Nuggets. So 4,700 still gonna be in play here. And then lastly, at the center, Audrey Drummond, 9,100. I can see him getting some ownership, but I do have to mention that with him being now on the Cavs, Tristan Thompson's gonna be his backup. And the way that they ran this rotation is that Drummond plays until like 3:30 or whatever when the ball's out of bounds, and he checks out and he comes back at like maybe the 6 minute mark. So he's not able to really get to like the 36, 38 minutes that he was when he was with Detroit. Obviously, if it's overtime, then that's different, but it definitely kind of caps Drummond's upside a little bit just because he's not playing as many minutes. Tristan's definitely more than capable backup center. But Drummond, his price is now down 9,100, so it definitely is factored in. And also, it's just one of the best matchups for opposing centers against the Wizards, so I'm still going to be interested in Drummond, but he could be chalky just because of the way the roster is. Like, if you plug in Simon, CJ, Tatum, Ingles, or Ingram, whatever it is, you're going to have an open center spot and you're going to have salary, so it definitely makes sense that people are just going to plug it in with an expensive center option, whether that be Drummond or Whiteside, but I think it's probably going to be Drummond more because of we're just so used to seeing Drummond being more expensive than Whiteside, so it kind of lowers Whiteside's ownership. But again, Whiteside, he's priced pretty up, so I'm not really interested in him. But all these other center options, unless you're playing a power forward there, there's really not that much that stands out. Like, I think the Wizards, they have a lot of guys that are hurt, like Thomas Bryant, Ian Mahinmi, that could miss. So a guy like Mo Wagner, 4,400, they're gonna need size out there to go up against the Cavs. And Mo Wagner is a guy that he was ejected last time, so that's why he only played 17 minutes. But after the All-Star break, now he's had a few games under his belt. I can definitely see him hitting around 30 minutes, especially if all these big men are out. And Wagner is a guy that's very capable of producing. He's pretty fantasy friendly, and he can shoot threes, he rebounds, he blocks shots, he does a little bit of everything. And the Cavs, again, defensively, they're not good. They're going to need Wagner out there, so 4,400 makes sense for a value play. And then Enes Kanter, 3,700 against the Wolves. He didn't get many minutes against the Rockets because of their small ball lineup, but you look at Kanter, if he's able to play close to over 20 minutes, he's a very good fantasy producer, and he's a guy that can get you a double-double off the bench. And he's only 3,700 against the Wolves, who they're without Cat, so it's not gonna really be a concern for them defensively. They don't really need to have Tice in all the time, or go with somebody else at the center position other than Kanter because it's not as much of an offensive threat. So Kanter makes sense. And all the way at the bottom, there's Aaron Baines, but he's probably going to be on a minutes restriction just because he's missed a lot of games. DeAndre Ayton could be out, so maybe he starts, but we don't really know because Jonah Bolden and Chip Diallo are on the team now, so we don't really know what kind of minutes restriction Baines could be, but he is the minimum, so I just want to mention him. He's only 3K. But again, the overall favorite plays on this slate are going to be Anthony Simons for now, because it definitely seems like he's going to start. If he starts, then yeah, you plug him in. CJ McCollum, going to be an absolute lock for me. Jason Tatum, probably close, or if not, that's going to be a lock. And then, what did I just do? Joe Ingles is going to be my small forward for now. And then I think Brandon Ingram, if he's without restriction, you plug him in. So these are the 5 guys. And this is what I was talking about with Drummond. You have a lot of salary to spend. So if you plug in Drummond, you still have a lot of salary. So I think Drummond could be popular, but just know that there's definitely a wide range of outcomes. Like Drummond can go out there, get you 30 or get you 60. You don't really know because of playing time and a lot of other factors. So I will stick with Simons, McCollum, Ingles, Tatum, and Ingram as my favorite 5 plays on the slate. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. You can ask me any questions on Twitter, or you can leave a comment in the comment section down below. In the video, you can find my Twitter at Boffles. It will be in the description. And thank you guys for watching once again. Good luck on the slate. Bye.